I have to turn myself in, yo, Finesse announced online. My heart got me up. Right now, the only thing Finesse has longer than his criminal record is his list of enemies. He is dealing with rapper beef, major label drama, and family issues. Now, as he faces another potential prison sentence, everyone is talking, and these claims could make his situation much worse. Hit subscribe to stay updated as we break down these wild Memphis allegations. On January 15, 2026, a heavily tinted Cadillac Escalade rolled through East Texas around 9:39 at night. A state trooper pulled them over. Behind the wheel was Finesse2Tymes, with his girlfriend, Suga, in the passenger seat. By sunrise, both of them were locked in a Rusk County holding cell, facing an absolute mountain of charges. And the second Finesse walked out on bond. He did not blame the arresting officer. He did not blame himself either. Instead, he went straight to social media and pointed fingers at a major Southern rap icon. Before we name names, hit that like button. You and I need to understand what this man survived. Going from a federal prison cell to private jets, and from scraping for cheap pizza to armored trucks. Yet throughout his entire career, the exact same names keep appearing in his legal drama. 3 people, specifically. A record label boss who claims to be his partner, a female artist he mentored, and a former close brother. They were incredibly close. This is not just a standard arrest report. It is about what happens when a man leaves federal custody, signs a deal out of blind loyalty, only to realize 4 years later that his circle was secretly plotting against him. Let us review the history of Finesse2Tymes. He served roughly 4 years of a 5-year federal sentence for firearm possession. He came home in 2022 and was immediately signed by Mob Ties Entertainment, J. Prince Jr.'s label, partnered with Atlantic Records. The rap world was loving his music. Then came a series of legal issues, repeating like clockwork. We saw the initial signs in September 2025 in Tyler, Texas. Police stopped him after a concert, noticing a strong odor in the vehicle. They spotted a cigar in the console, searched the truck, and found around 7/10 of an ounce of marijuana, 12 painkillers, and several stimulants. He bonded out quickly. Suga did too, but October brought more trouble. Another county, same situation. 8 new charges, including drug possession and tampering with evidence. They also charged him with jail contraband. His bond was over $100,000, which he paid. Before walking free, he called the arrest a misunderstanding on Instagram. Then January 2026 arrived. The situation escalated. A state trooper pulled over his SUV due to dark window tints and a missing license plate. Detecting an odor, officers searched the vehicle. The resulting discovery changed everything. For the rapper, they filed charges for marijuana and controlled substances. When he was finally booked at the station, officers discovered 3 prescription pills hidden on his body, adding another serious charge for contraband inside jail. That made his situation far worse. For Suga, however, the legal outlook was much more severe. They charged her with evidence tampering, alleging she tried to conceal a bag of illegal substances. They also added drug possession charges, including multiple counts of carrying controlled substances. They tacked on a weapons offense, plus an active federal hold from the United States Marshals Service. Her bond was set at over $500,000, keeping her jailed. Finesse bonded out first, as usual. The minute he accessed a working phone, he did exactly what he always does. He went live with absolute confidence. He flooded his stories, posting about how much he missed Suga, expressing his deep concern. He claimed nobody understood her like he did. Then, he delivered a shocking accusation that shook the entire community. He accused Moneybagg Yo of cooperating with the police, a wild claim that immediately sent social media into a frenzy. The 2 Memphis rappers have a long history that honestly reads like a dramatic movie script. Coming up together, they had intense beef back in 2017, exchanging diss tracks and online threats. Once Finesse was released from prison, they resolved the conflict, signed business deals, and released music. This included their 2022 hit, Black Visa. It seemed positive from an outside perspective, but Finesse claims their relationship was always strained. In his post-arrest rant, he went even further. He alleged Moneybagg's cousin had legal paperwork on him, using street terms to label him an informant. Subscribe for updates. He essentially told the world that Moneybagg Yo's close associate was cooperating with federal investigators, and Bag swept it under the rug. He then turned the camera on himself, calling his online critics pure haters. Now, let's analyze this closely, because this is the exact detail the major rap blogs completely missed. Finesse wasn't just furious over his arrest. He was angry about a massive payout that never landed. According to his paperwork, a clause in his Mob Ties contract guaranteed $1 million payout if he and Moneybagg Yo dropped a collaborative album, a complete album. Finesse wanted that spotlight. He needed that cash, and his kids needed it. So, he confronted Moneybagg Yo to make the project happen. But Finesse claims Bag met him with absolute radio silence. Finesse explained, quote, "I was not going there for no reason. I went because he knew," end quote. Quote, "that we had that option in my contract, which was $1 million deal that never got cashed. That option was worth a cool $1 million. So when law enforcement pulled Finesse over back in January, he did not see bad luck. He saw a setup. He saw a former brother making a phone call. He saw the exact same energy that kept him trapped in bad paperwork. Did Bag actually snitch? Nobody. Improve it. Moneybagg Yo has not publicly responded to these snitching allegations. No diss tracks, no interviews, no tweets, just dead silence. In the rap game, silence speaks volumes. The blogs exploded, and academics went live. Say Cheese ran the footage. The Shade Room posted a piece noting Finesse had the timeline asking questions. Valor Alert pushed it to their feed. Comment sections quickly became war zones. Half the fans believed Finesse was crashing out, looking for someone to blame. The other half felt the timing was too suspicious and Bag owed an answer. Meanwhile, Sugar remained behind bars, facing a $526,000 bond and a federal hold she could not shake. Finesse posted updates daily, expressing how much their kids were hurting and how badly he needed her home. He lamented that this was not the life he wanted for his family. But here is the shocking twist. While the blogs were chasing the Moneybagg story, Finesse was already targeting a much bigger player. A highly influential figure who had been pulling strings long before Finesse left his prison cell. This was his record label CEO, the son of one of the most feared legends in Houston music history, J. Prince Jr. And the allegations Finesse leveled against him made the Moneybagg drama look like child's play. It was the Mob Ties contract that broke him. To fully understand why Finesse2Tymes went on Instagram Live, crying as if he had just lost a family member, we must look back to what he calls the bunk, that federal prison cot where he first began building a connection with J. Prince Jr. about signing to Mob Ties Entertainment. Jr. is the son of J. Prince Sr., the legendary founder of Houston's Rap-A-Lot Records, a man who built massive careers and allegedly squashed major industry beefs with a single phone call. That last name carried immense street weight, and Jr. knew it. So Finesse, stuck inside a federal cell, began building what he genuinely believed was a true brotherhood and a real partnership. He trusted Jr. to mentor him on the music business from the place, inside out, believing the contract was just a formality and loyalty was everything. When he was released in October 2022, he signed. For nearly 4 years, he tried to make the partnership work. Then, around late 2025, heading into 2026, things completely fractured. Finesse went on a live stream and made an announcement that stunned independent artists nationwide. He made it clear he wanted completely out of his current contract. Finesse declared he no longer wanted to associate with Mob Ties. He kept going, demanding his own distribution machine, noting he had been with Jr. for 4 years but only released 2 projects. He told his label boss directly that at 33 years old, he needed a different path. He was on camera pleading, quote, "I am 33 years old. Let me go to someone who will actually support me," end quote. He was desperately begging for his freedom. Then came the explosive statement that defined this entire industry feud. Quote, "If you want some money out of this, fine. You can get paid. P," end quote. Finesse offered to buy out his own contract, pleading on camera with a cracking voice while the entire hip-hop community watched it unfold. Now, this is where things get ugly, because Finesse went further, doing serious research. What he uncovered was damning. He finally pulled that contract out of the closet and realized he could not keep wasting thousands of dollars on high-priced lawyers who refused to even touch his paperwork. So, he decided to act. This artist did something absolutely unheard of in the industry. He fed his entire contract directly into ChatGPT. He claimed he finally found his Mob Ties contract, got a lawyer to look over it, but got nowhere. Without real legal help, he turned to artificial intelligence. And that bot gave him answers that hit harder than any attorney ever could. That is when he and his associate decided to consult ChatGPT. Have you ever used ChatGPT for something this big? Let us look at what the AI actually told him. It warned him it was a brutal 360 deal. Atlantic and Mob Ties were taking a cut of everything. His music, publishing, merchandise, his touring. Basically every single dollar he generated. The system showed him he was completely locked in until he delivered several albums plus an extra 10 months. Even worse, the label had 3 separate options to extend, meaning they could keep him trapped on their books for years if they wanted to. It also warned him those luxury perks, the cash, the trucks, the private flights, could be weaponized against him in court if he tried to walk. Recoupment, claims, massive lawsuits, the whole 9 yards. But then came the absolute killer detail that pushed Finesse completely over the edge. He claimed the old man told him not to hire any lawyer. Let that sink in. The most powerful figure in Houston rap allegedly told a Bay Blank Partman, federal inmate, to avoid legal counsel before signing a 360 deal. Then, that same family acted as both his record label and his management. Most industry attorneys would call that a major conflict of interest. Finesse felt sick to his stomach, admitting to the world he had blind faith. He pleaded with fans not to judge him for trusting his own people. But then, as we analyzed his rant, he hit the part that truly broke him, the $30,000 music video. He allegedly paid 30 stacks out of pocket for a shoot the label was supposed to cover, and the executive who watched him hand over that cash, who knew the label should have paid the bill, was sitting right beside him the entire time. If you find this shocking, hit that like button. He pointed directly at J. Prince Jr., saying he watched him pay it all, watched him take that loss, and said absolutely nothing. Finesse did not stop there, calling the whole deal slavery and claiming it was the worst contract he ever signed. He took to Instagram, launching a massive rant about how Jr. used artists to fuel industry drama instead of letting them drop music. He claimed the label had already recouped over $5 million off his hard work, yet they refused to even call him back. He expressed absolute disbelief that they had not acknowledged recouping those $5.5 million. Then, he exposed the manipulation, explaining how Jr. sold him a dream by calling the deal a partnership. He made it clear his next record deal would be a true partnership, repeating it slowly and deliberately so everyone could feel the pain of how Jr. allegedly manipulated him into believing they were partners. The contract had the word partnership written on the cover, but the actual body of the paperwork, according to our sources, treated him like a standard artist with zero ownership. The royalties were not what he expected, and he had no real control. Jr. could direct his entire career while Finesse had absolutely no say. Instantly, the streets started talking, especially when Honeycomb Brazy was named as the newest Mob Ties signee. Fans were telling Finesse to pull a Pooh Shiesty on Gucci Mane and take his contract back by force. But he shut those suggestions down quickly, telling everyone he had no intention of throwing his life away like that. He noted that he is 34 years old, while Pooh Shiesty was only 24 when his legal troubles began. Different ages bring very different consequences. Finesse knows he is much older and wiser now. He refused to throw his freedom away over industry paperwork, repeatedly driving home a very powerful message. Real power is keeping your hands clean and being there for your kids. This modern crash-out culture simply was not for him anymore. Then, he issued a direct warning that definitely made the entire Prince family sit up. He promised to do everything within his power to tarnish any future business moves they made. Our editorial team agrees he was not playing around. He targeted their legacy, promising to tarnish their brand. He then claimed he could drop a massive diss track targeting another Mob Ties artist, boasting that it would easily go platinum without them. He even released a hostile track aimed directly at Jr., titled, "Who Do You Think You Are?" Before we go, make sure to subscribe for more updates to buy him out of his deal. Our newsroom heard reports his brother, No Love, wanted to sign with Mob Ties, which only poured gasoline on the family drama. How did J. Prince Jr. respond? Not with music, and not with a press run. He went straight to Instagram to troll Finesse. He mocked his weight, reminding everyone that Mob Ties originally backed him during his lowest moments. We saw the Prince family release statements calling him ungrateful, though they didn't name him directly. They targeted artists who blow through $1 million and then turn around and blame the industry. But as we look past the internet noise, one thing is clear. Finesse felt completely trapped by contracts and by a label he trusted while locked up. In his lowest moment, he said, "Something that should make every artist watching this subscribe and think twice before signing their life away. All you do is seek money. I never seek the money. I just want it for me and my family to be comfortable. You then made it about the money." We saw him crying on Instagram Live, a hardened Memphis street legend, shedding tears because the people he trusted made his peace impossible. And now, in order to be comfortable, I have to chase a bigger goal. And now, I have to become a 100 millionaire. That was the exact moment our community realized what was really going on. Finesse wasn't just mad about cash. He was hurt by people who swore that family always came first. But here is the twist we never saw coming. While he fought his label, the streets, and prosecutors, those closest to him were quietly slipping out the back door. A kid he took under his wing, and a brother he called his twin, both left. Our viewers are asking a simple question. Was Finesse2Tymes pushing his circle away, or was the world showing its true colors? Let us break down those who abandoned him. Make sure to like this video as we introduce FNG King, also known as Lil King, an 11-year-old street kid with a voice that sounds decades older. We watched as Finesse2Tymes signed him right after his release, featured him in videos, and collaborated on major tracks like Gorilla Mode, treating him like a real protege or even a godson. For a moment, our reports showed that the partnership looked perfect. The industry had a rising star, and Finesse had a protege to mentor. Their brand was thriving. Then, everything collapsed. Our newsroom traced the trouble to October 2024 in Humble, Texas. King was with a woman acting as his legal guardian. Finesse and his brother arrived, an argument broke out, and King reportedly fled the building, screaming that they were attempting to kidnap him back to Memphis. The entire situation escalated rapidly. By January 2025, police were involved. Finesse and No Love were both hit with charges for making terroristic threats against the kid's guardian. When a warrant was issued, Finesse, who was still on active federal probation, suddenly faced much greater legal jeopardy than a simple custody battle. Then King went live on social media to tell his side, denying that he fled, claiming he left because Finesse wanted to force him to change. "I just want to address this to y'all, but I left away from around him. I want to make that clear." The young artist spoke with absolute confidence. As we analyzed his defense, he sounded incredibly professional. He claimed Finesse embraced him for his authentic self at first, but then tried to force a completely new image on him. "You came and got me for who I am. And then you going to try to change me for who I am?" Finesse fired back immediately with his own statement on social media, admitting that while he initially allowed the kid to use foul language and gamble on camera because he understood his background, he eventually tried to establish much-needed boundaries. No firearms on social media, no clubs, and no adult behavior. "King ain't been with me in 4 months, and I'ma tell you why." He continued, claiming the child was displaying weapons, smoking, and flashing gang signs, activities he claims were strictly banned, while the young artist lived under his roof. King showing guns, smoking, throwing gang signs, shooting dice. Finesse admitted he had to step in and correct the kid's behavior after he became disrespectful to adults in the home. But when the boy refused to listen, he ran. He actually ran away from me. You know what I'm saying? Because he didn't want to accept authority. While we monitored this drama, federal probation officers were also closely watching. They saw everything. The threat warrant and those failed drug tests. Finesse stacked up in 2022 and 2024. They added it up and pushed for a violation hearing. Finesse hit Instagram, telling fans he had to go turn himself in. You all. He claimed his heart got him too, telling the world he was about to surrender. We heard him blame his own health, claiming his weak heart would kill him after helping so many ungrateful people. But the public just clowned him. It seems like none of his good deeds actually mattered to anyone. He lamented that his positive moves go completely unnoticed, leaving him as the butt of the joke. He surrendered on May 2nd, 2025, walking into that federal courtroom in heavy shackles. His lawyers bailed shortly after. Prosecutors then laid out 3 violations, including those drug tests, and the Texas case involving King. Finesse had only 48 days left of supervision before it all collapsed. Just 48 days. He was less than 7 weeks away from walking free. and now that dream had vanished. Meanwhile, his relationship with FNG No Love blew up. Hit subscribe as we track this street drama. By 2025, they could not stand each other. Finesse went on a popular podcast to explain why. He tried to take the high road on air, claiming he would not hold any anger toward his former brother. Instead, he said he would simply love him from a distance. That was the line Finesse kept repeating, insisting that outsiders would never truly understand his pain. The man he once called a brother had officially turned into a rival in the streets. People might judge from the outside, wondering how family could turn on each other. But the beef ran deep. Finesse alleged that No Love had a gun in a car with kids inside. When the police pulled them over, No Love supposedly froze up instead of just taking the charge like a man. He allegedly tried to hide the weapon, which Finesse viewed as the ultimate street betrayal. According to our reports, No Love had his own story, claiming that money completely ruined their family dynamic. He exposed their mother's gambling habits, alleging she even pawned Finesse's video games when they were kids. He claimed fame unmasked everyone, before turning his attention to the drama surrounding their associate, King. He confirmed King ran off, arguing the young kid was thrown into heavy street business way too early. While Finesse was busy enforcing strict rules, nobody was actually looking out for the young man. No Love acknowledged that Finesse tried to guide King toward a better life, but the kid had already witnessed too much trauma to ever be saved. Finesse tried to rehabilitate him, but it was simply too late to save him. Then, in April 2026, a massive scandal broke, involving Pooh, Shiesty, and Big 30. They faced allegations of kidnapping Gucci Mane in Dallas and forcing a contract release at gunpoint. With Shiesty facing prison, drop a like if you are following this insane rap legal war. Finesse, who always grouped Shiesty with real street legends like Boosie and Fetty Wap, had to speak. He went directly after Gucci Mane, accusing him of snitching on Shiesty. Finesse claimed Gucci skipped out on Big Scar's funeral bill and trapped Shiesty in a terrible contract. He criticized Gucci for playing victim when Shiesty retaliated, reminding him of his own street past. Finesse pointed out the massive hypocrisy of a former street guy suddenly running straight to the law. He simply could not comprehend why a man who came from the absolute trenches would suddenly start dialing the police to solve his personal problem. All these young artists know is the street life they were raised on. Why not try talking to them instead? Why not help them? Then, of all people, Boosie Badazz entered the chat, but not to support Finesse. When Finesse and Suge caught their legal case in January 2026, Boosie went online to mock them. He laughed at Suge's predicament, which absolutely infuriated Finesse as he watched from across the country. Missing his girl, Finesse was in no mood for Boosie, declaring that her career was officially over. You could hear the absolute rage in his voice. Finesse2X went straight to war on social media, targeting a man he once called one of the last real street figures in hip-hop. Now, the two are trading shots over a girlfriend locked up in county jail. Meanwhile, his circle of supporters is rapidly shrinking. Moneybagg Yo is out. J Prince Jr. is an enemy. FNG King is gone. Boosie is clowning him. The labels are watching. Prosecutors are circling like buzzards. And then, in May 2026, things took a terrifying turn. Finesse went live, claiming the district attorney had a new play to drop charges against Suge, only to turn around and re-indict him instead. They want him as the bigger fish on the hook. So, they prepared for trial. He was stunned. He had told authorities from the very beginning that the items were his. He took the rap to protect his girl from prison. Now, prosecutors are flipping the script right back on him. As Finesse put it, I am not worried. I have the charge because I took it. Now they say that they will come back and indict me. He kept hammering this exact point. He took the fall intentionally. Now, we are watching the legal system try to weaponize that move against him. Finesse warned, if they dismiss her case, they are coming back to indict me. That is where we stand as of early June 2026. Finesse has not received a final sentence in his latest Texas cases. The blogs are still tracking this. Academics is streaming. Say Cheese is posting clips. The district attorney is still maneuvering. Suge is free after Finesse spent around $30,000 to bail her out in March. Those mob ties, contracts remain active. J Prince Jr. keeps trolling, while Moneybagg Yo stays as silent as an unplugged amp. The rap community is watching this Memphis rapper leave prison, climb the mountain, and start slipping down one step at a time. He is losing brothers, family, mentees, labels, and even his hometown streets. And The question every commentator, every barbershop, and every fan keeps asking is what Finesse asked himself. He admitted, "I am not going to lie. I think I just got dealt a bad hand, you know? And the resentment I have for people, a bad hand." That is his perspective. But as commentators, we have to look at the truth. Nobody wants to admit that sometimes the cards you get are simply yours to play. The people who support you early on are often the very same ones who walk out before the final credits roll. His contract was always just a contract. The brother was always going to look out for himself, and labels will always act like labels. And the real question was never whether they would show their true colors. It was whether Finesse2Tymes would still be standing. Today, he is still upright bruised, with broken pieces that money cannot fix, but standing. Make sure to subscribe, like this video, and click the card on screen for more news.